Now that the Raven software is open, you'll see all these custom batch commands here. And you'll also see the stop button is pushed down, which means vControl and Pro Tools are all connected and everything's working great. So now let's show off the top features of the Raven. We'll hit this mix window button, and now we could show off the Raven internal mixer. Here you have control over 24 faders with multi-touch. Now, any other 24 fader console would be very expensive. You'd have to buy 3 Avid Artist mixes, which would cost you around $4,000. This way you get 24 faders on the Raven for $9.99. So we can show this internal mixer. If we want to bank, we just hit the banking buttons. You can also show fine fader mode, whereas if you hold these buttons here, you have your fine fader response. Now, we can do very fine moves and 0.1 dB rides with touch. The other mixer we have is the external mixer. So if users don't want to look at Pro Tools, they can have this external mixer, which is just like the internal mixer. Here we can swipe solos, we can swipe our automation modes, we also have multi-touch pans, and you also have icons down here that you can add to find the channels easier. Now the other mixer is the sends mixer, and this allows you multi-touch control over sends A through E in Pro Tools. This makes it really easy when trying to get all your background vocals to a reverb, or maybe doing some parallel drum bus compression. And our last mixer here, if we go into our edit window, is our floating mixer. This is a resizable mixer, can show 8, 16, or 24, can be positioned anywhere. So while you're tracking in the edit window, you can ride your vocals and have easy access to the faders. Another great feature of the Raven software is these batch commands here. These can perform up to 1,000 key commands with one button. For instance, I could hit this fit entire session to window batch command, and this will instantly zoom out of my whole window. Or if I wanted to just zoom in on this selection here, I hit the purple fit selection to screen, and it shows me just that track. This makes it very easy to navigate around your edit window. Another great feature is the clip gain batch command. So I'll select this region here, and with one finger, I can hit the clip gain 6 dB batch command to instantly clip gain this track, up or down. I could also hit the mute selected region to mute it, have an undo there, or if I break this region, I can hit fade selected region, and you'll notice if I zoom in with the nav pad, it instantly creates our fades. Now I'll hit the fit entire session window to zoom back out, and we'll show our awesome fader group batch commands in the mix window. These are very great for fader focusing onto individual parts of your session without having to bank around. For instance, I could hit this launch fader group drums batch command, and now I'm looking at all my drum tracks. Or I could hit launch guitar fader group. Now I'm looking at all my guitar faders. Last, I could hit the launch vocal fader group and look at just my vocals. Now to get back to all my tracks, I just hit launch fader group all, and now we are looking at all the tracks in the session. Next, we'll show off a couple other batch commands on this panel. We'll select a fader, we'll hit command and swipe underneath the fader caps to select these tracks, and then we can hit bypass inserts, and you'll see our inserts bypass. Then we can hit bypass sends, and you'll see the sends bypass. This is very great for checking your mix and A-Bing, be sure your settings are working correctly. Other thing we got in here is our memory location. So while we're mixing, we could quickly jump to the verse, or to the guitar solo, or back to the top, without having to switch back to the edit window and select our timeline. These memory locations you'll see take you right to where the markers are. And the last thing we'll want to show off is our custom gestures. So what we could do is a 4-finger swipe down. We'll select our cursor tool. Now we can make a selection on the timeline. I'll do a 3-finger drag to fit those selected tracks in vertically, and I'll do a 3-finger right to zoom them in horizontally. Now I can do a rotate left to break the region, and a rotate right mutes the regions. And I could undo with a 3-finger splay, and then I could zoom back out with a 3-finger left and a 3-finger up. Another great gesture is once you have a plugin open, you can do a 5-finger pinch to hide the plugin, and a 5-finger pinch again to show the plugin, or you can just hit this hide floating window button here to toggle and close, as sometimes hitting this little red button could be hard. The last one you'll want to show off is our pinch zoom. So I can pinch zoom in on here, grab this pan, and any small buttons are really easy to hit with touch when you use pinch zoom. And last thing you may want to show is how you can customize all of these layouts. And you can see from here we can move around our batch commands and relocate anything to where we want them to go. And to get back to the default, we just load the Raven session. And now we're back. And what we may want to do is set this as our default. So we hit the settings button, set user default. Now every time you open the Raven, it'll default with this layout. All right, hope you guys dig it. Have a great day.